strictly mathematical information. What is the statistical information on those who have assaulted and murdered a person in custody? What is their gender and what is their race? I find that it's probably disproportionately white men. Is anyone interviewing them to ask them, what's the problem? Why are they so angry? Why can they only respond in violence?
I have
it's
some.
The same tactics. The methods that they're using on protesters now are the same methods that they used in the protests in 1960s for the civil rights movement. It's the same type of way that they behaved during the protests for Vietnam War. It's the same way in which they behaved in the jail and the prison system. It's the same way they behaved towards Black people in the streets prior to 1960. This is unchanged behavior. If you want to do something to help Black people, if you really, really want to do something to help Black people, engage in friendships. Do you have Black friends? These people need to look around and see who is your peer group, who are your friends at work, who are your colleagues. If everyone is saying, "Oh man, I really want to get on board with this Black Lives Matter." Black Lives Matter doesn't just mean you see me now. Black Lives Matter means move out of my way. I don't need you to put my hand up. I'm a Homo sapien. I'm not compromised in any way. I have 2 college degrees. I work in big time jobs. You don't have to carry me. Just get out the way. Just get out the way. Be quiet and get out the way. So it's a lot of emotions running right now and people going a lot of different directions. Look, Black people don't have a monolithic voice either. I cannot represent the entire group. I have a different background. I lived internationally for over 13 years. So I've seen a lot of different things in the way that people can interact. But I understand America. It's a complex problem, but it's not acceptable. And everyone keeps looking around talking about, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know what to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, good. When people act like that, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. Or people are like, well, what about me? I want my time in the sun. And people who can't allow Black people to have 10 minutes to say, hey, we have a serious problem over here. Can you please help us with this problem? Now, if you get legislation into place and you get a right type of reward and punishment system that does not have to be violent, but that can get the police back in some type of order, okay, on this specific issue of police brutality, removing violent acts that are permissible, discontinuing the training of American police officers in Israel, for sure. Any tax I pay, I don't want to go into that. Did anyone even ask me?
No.
It's not till now that I understand the capacity of what type of brutality we're really dealing with. Because of understanding the menacing effects of the Israelis. So, if you want to do something, engage in your Black friendships, truly show up, speak up when someone says something that's biased and unjust, not only about Black people, about people in general. This is a disease, and it has to be addressed in a way like it's a disease. People need to be shamed. People need to be pressed. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Why do you say that? What makes you believe that? Why do you think you're better than me? Why do you think I'm different for you? And then in the end, most people get to where they say, I don't know, completely frustrated, and then act like, and then act crazy. I just want people to keep something in mind because the protests and the rioting keeps coming up so often, and everyone's like, oh, it's such a shame, and da-da-da. And I know you've seen different memes that have said, oh, you should need to put put someone's life ahead of property.
Mm.
That's not a very American way necessarily, but yes, you should put a person in front of property. But you should also try to take a moment to really understand what this means for people. And if you can't contemplate it, then you need to really take a look at yourself and see how you're contributing to this larger problem. It's a large problem.
It's a problem that we were born and we knew it existed, and I think it's time for it to end. And as you said, it's deep, and I don't know if this is going to bring the change. And what you're saying is what is going to bring the change, but we don't know if it's going to happen.
Look, you have all these different branches and types of people that work in the world. You have lawyers that work on something, and doctors that work on something, and engineers, and journalists, and marketing, and blah, blah, blah. If everyone engages in the conversation, the intent of understanding, someone makes an off-color comment to you, instead of instantly responding with aggression, the response needs to start being like, oh, what made you say that? Let me understand you better. Maybe I'm confused. So that people can actually let their guard down and actually effectively communicate. I think.
Yeah, sorry, you think, go on.
I think that during the time that I lived in the Middle East, I was able to have a lot of real conversations in regards to race and trying to understand people. If the people truly want to understand, the understanding can be made.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not saying, by no means am I saying the Middle East is perfect, but amongst my group of friends and the people that I spend time with, we were able to have some real conversations. And when we misunderstood each other, we corrected each other, so that when you go out into public, or when you go out and you meet people, that you have the capacity to represent your friends and yourself well. When I first got my job interview to work in Dubai, I was living in Puerto Rico, where I am now, and they asked me, what can we provide you? And I said, I want some type of training on Middle Eastern culture. I want to understand what is appropriate and what's inappropriate. I want to know, how to say hello and how to say goodbye. I need to know the manner in which I can engage in business. Why did I ask those questions? Because I know that I'm going to a place where I'm the visitor. I go with respect, no?
Yeah.
Black people need a similar type of extension.
Kimmer, so what do you want? If someone asks you, in Kimmer's perfect world, after all of this, what is it that you'd like to see in the world change?
I have a couple groups of friends from around the world, where everyone is from around the world. We never talk about race. We talk about how much we love each other, and how we matter to each other, and what the kids are doing and what we're doing and stuff like this. So for me, ideally, race doesn't contribute or take away anything. It's merely the color of people's skin, I mean, it will be interesting, though, to see once we all become one monolithic color, what the form of discrimination will be then, so that people can class themselves one or over the other, better or worse. I don't know that I necessarily have the answer, but I think what matters most is that you look at your relationships. In the Middle East, I would start with my maids. Practice on your maids, respecting your maid, having real conversations with her, you know. She is the most likely a mother and married also, you know, so it's like we need to humanize each other. We need to humanize each other. But people who are willfully holding people down and suppressing them and taking from them and poisoning their thoughts, those people must be on some form of radical change. How that radical change is going to come?
Last time you talked about the
Excuse me.
bless you. Last time you spoke about what's happening or Black life in general as the drench. Do you remember
The
that?
trench. Yeah, the trench.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, people are like, where can you donate money? What organizations can I contribute to? And that is good, but I think that encourages a one-time participation.
Yeah.
I need you to come down in the trench. See, when you're standing from the top of the trench, you think, oh, you know, doesn't seem so difficult. Okay, come get in. And don't cry to get out when you first get in there, because there is no get out. There's no get out. I don't, you know, when people meet me, some people, when they meet me, they already know who I am, but they met me on TV, Housewives of Atlanta. They watched me on through NFL and NBA. They seen me at a Beyonce concert. They maybe saw me on the street. Maybe they thought that maybe I was a prostitute. Maybe they thought I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. But whatever prejudice they have in mind, they don't, I very often have to come back who people think I am, and then I have to introduce them to me. So if you really want to make a difference, it has to be done on a personal level. Why people who could, in larger organizations, can come up with maybe some type of like, program and acts and bills and things like that. But I want to see Black people in professional positions. I want to see Black people running companies. I want to see, I want small Black businesses to flourish. And I don't want you to give me these positions or patronize my business because I'm Black. No, I want you to patronize my business because I'm good. And before, you weren't patronizing my business because I was Black and you didn't think it was going to be good. That's the thing that we have to deal with. That's the thing that we have to come across, is what prejudice has already come up in your mind 10 ancestors ago. And now I'm meeting you today and I have to meet you fresh, but you're meeting me with the prejudice. I work in construction management. I'm also a yogi. I'm also a photographer.
Yeah.
Okay. I play golf. I went to college on a golf scholarship. I rarely see Black people at any of these places. I worked on the Atlantis project. No Black people, just me. Upstairs and downstairs in the trailer. You know, like, I've worked in photography. I don't see very many Black photographers. I know more in the States than I do abroad. In yoga, there is a Black yoga movement. But if you were an alien and you dropped down on the planet Earth and checked Instagram, you would think that yoga was invented by a very slim, long ponytailed white woman. So, let's get people in the conversation. Let's invite everyone in the conversation so that people can have different perspectives. Like, it's time. Seriously, it's time. It's time. And also and also, when you meet a Black person for the first time, and maybe I'm just repeating myself here, Let them introduce themselves to you. Don't greet them with, "What's up, girl?"
No.
Bad move. Bad move. Bad move. Don't touch their hair. Not necessary. Not necessary.
So do you have a lot of white friends in the States?
I have white friends in the state. I think I used to have more. I went to predominantly all white schools, elementary, middle school, high school, until I went to college. And then I attended a historically black college and university in Houston,
And
called Texas Southern University. So over time, my white friends have kind of dwindled down to my really core, like, childhood friends. And then in adulthood, yes, I made more white friends.
and did you experience a lot of racism throughout these friendships, or any racism?
Yes.
Can you share with us a story?
So without calling them out, see, this is the problem. Nobody wants to call anybody out, right? I don't want to call them out because they're my friend and I get it, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessary. A good example could be someone say, "Kimmers, I found a great guy for you. He's black." Oh, so you think the only qualifying data required for me to like a man is that he must be black?
But wait, 1 second. I mean,
That's it?
I want to say something about that. Okay, can you hear me
I'm
well?
ready.
So being born and raised here in Dubai as an Egyptian, it's very natural for someone to see, for example, an Egyptian man and think that I would be the perfect fit for him, or he'd be the perfect fit for me because he's Egyptian. Oh my God, Egyptian, Egyptian. And it happens till now. If I know someone Palestinian, oh my God, you're Palestinian too. I know a great Palestinian girl. So this is not really racism. It's more like the same culture, the same background. It's you guys.
But Enjy, you're Egyptian.
Yeah.
You're Egyptian. My nomenclature is black. What's black, Enjy?
African like me.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah, babe.
That's why we're friends. Yeah, but right. So black is a name for them to call African, right? Yeah. But at least you get down to Egyptian. I don't know my country of origin, Enjy. I'm no different than a Palestinian. Palestinian, they know where their land is. Where's my land? Where am I from? You know? Comments about my hair. People are very fascinated by my hair. I know right now I have it in twists, but usually I have it in a large afro. Sometimes I have it blow dried. Sometimes I have it braided. You know, I had a friend, the worst one is when people try to pick up some type of black slang or some type of urban slang and try to project it at me. I was raised in the suburbs, so I don't know what you're saying either. Do you know what I mean? So it's just that there's this assumption that there's some type of, like, I don't know, that we are what you see on TV, that we're nothing else. And that's why when people ask me, "Oh, you must give me people to read," or "Who are the most prominent black people that you know?" Don't get fascinated by celebrities, okay? These are phenomenal people. All people of all colors, all genders, all races are fascinated by Oprah, Michael Jordan, Lenny Kravitz. Everyone is fascinated by these people. I need you to be fascinated by an ordinary Nigerian guy who's pumping your gas at the gas station, and take the time to meet his eyes with yours and say good morning. It's as foot soldiers, that's what I think that we can do. As corporate entities and members of corporations and businesses, we can make policy change. In terms of the group masses and petitioning and calling our senators, we can make legal changes. But what's most important now, benchmark today, right now, anyone who is between 0 and 7, teaching them now.
Yeah.